All right, so look, before I start this video, I just want to say um, I appreciate everyone that's ever interacted with my channel, whether you hit the like button, made a comment, troll, um, thanks. All right. But today I want to talk about life beyond sneakers. I want to talk about the fact that a lot has changed since I started this channel back in 2019. I started this channel back in 2019 um, for a few reasons. It was not for any type of monetary gain. I was trying to cope with the fact that a few months earlier, I found out that my father um, was getting ready to start his battle with cancer. And so I had to find ways to try to cope with this, right? Because he wasn't given a lot of time, given the type of cancer that he had, right? And I just remember my father always wanting me to speak in front of the camera and be comfortable and not be nervous and get things off my chest without feeling like I'm being rushed or anything like that. Um, you know, as a kid, I had to do speech therapy from the age of 4 to the age of 11, give or take, right? And it's something I still struggle with, but I've gotten a lot better than back then. But having this channel helped me strengthen me expressing myself. Sneakers has helped me express myself professionally, socially. I have to give credit to the whole me liking sneakers that look cool and having these different memories and takes of things. And even though my father is no longer here, I definitely have to give him credit for his influence on why my channel was started, even in the midst of seemingly a dark place. Nobody wants to lose their father or parent, especially when you love them and you cherish them. And like I did, I looked up to my father. My father was my big homie. He was my G homie. I never looked at anybody in the street like a G homie. It's always been my dad. That's the one I had to take into consideration when I was moving around. You know what I'm saying? So this channel helped me kind of cope with one day I'm going to get the call that my father is gone. So 2019, I started the channel, and there's just one story I've always wanted to talk about. And that's pretty much the sneaker that started it all for me in my journey into being what we consider ourselves as sneakerheads. There really wasn't a name for it when I was growing up. You just liked the cool kicks. Like, you just had the new shoes on. You had the new Jordans on. You had this on. Back when everybody kind of wore a little bit of everything. So certain kids had the Jordans, certain ones had the Nikes. I had the Nikes. I sometimes had the Payless shoes. Sometimes I had the Airwalks. I just liked what I liked, and I always wore what was gifted to me, right? And then I was one of those kids that enjoyed going through the East Bay book. Even if I never got a single shoe out of the East Bay book, I've always enjoyed that part too, even when I played football, right? But these last 6 years have been rough. I can't even front. I've kind of fallen back from the channel a little bit. Now I'm doing more shorts than actual videos, because there's just life beyond sneakers. Like, this is real life shit. And it's only fitting that I talk about the sneaker that started it all for me, and how I view sneakers and what sneakers I want to have at all times, right? So this was like my 12th birthday. My dad, who was in the military, he served over like 24 years in the Army. He was he had called home to tap in with me and see what I wanted for my birthday. He said, I'll make sure that it's there before you get home from school or whatnot. So I asked for the newest black and red Jordans. If you can find them over there in a size 12, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, the shoe I was talking about was the playoff 11s. Mind you, this was 1996 when I asked for them. They were brand spanking new, and they were allegedly going to be everywhere except maybe overseas. No one really knew if they were going to be sold overseas. But if you grew up a military brat like I did, the base definitely had them, and we didn't always pay the same price that everyone else paid, right? So after tapping in with my dad, you know, he said he would make it happen. So my birthday comes around, package on the table. Now, mind you, back then, this is how all the shoes came. All right, this is the box that they came in, not the silver boxes that y'all are used to, right? When I opened the box, I was like, these are hard, but these are not the ones I asked for. Instead, what I got was the Scottie Pippens. Now mine, actually, the air unit was covered. So, you know, that's a takedown of this shoe, right? You have the air much tempo and you have the air more tempo. I'll leave that to you guys to do your Googles, right? So there's a picture of me actually holding these up, proud, because I was like, I got some Nikes worn by my favorite team, which is the Bulls. The 95, 96 Bulls, right? So even though this is the shoe that I wanted, this shoe became a staple in my collection. I haven't worn these since I found out that my dad had cancer, right? So these have been vaulted, if you will. And I wish Nike would really come out with the leather joints. The all black leather joints. Specifically the 06 version. They should really do that for us, right? So, even though I didn't get this shoe, right? It still was a shoe that I always said, if I ever get my hands on it, if I can ever afford it, I'm gonna get them. These are the 2012 joints. I camped out with a bunch of people, and I got my pair, right? So these two shoes are a must-have in my entire collection, right? And I had to thank my dad for it, because even though I didn't get that shoe, I was still appreciative of the up tempos. Black and white Nikes are like some of my favorite shoes to have in my entire collection. Gary Payton flights, the ones with the zipper. I had the Nike Summer gloves. I have those shoes again. It's certain Jumpman shoes, Jumpman Pro, Team Strong, you name it. If it's black and white, I'm on them, right? So these were such a monumental shoe to have along with this one. So this is what happened. When I got married, I walked down the aisle in these. All right. My father, I bought him a pair of Jordans for him to wear when I got married. So, and this is how much of a G that my dad was. He asked me, was there anything that I could do for you and your wife? I said, just come to the wedding. Just be there. I want you right next to me along with my best man. Everything's good. Because I didn't really need anything else from my father. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much positive impact that he's always had on me, right? So I got married in these because these were the ones that I wanted, but I ended up getting them myself. So it's a great memory. Like, these are the ones that I wanted, but I actually got these. But now the sneaker culture consider this a pack. Like, this is a Bulls pack right here. You got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen back to back, going ham, turkey, and bacon. So that's gonna always be one of the best sneaker memories ever. So if any shoe that I can consider my favorites, is gonna be those two shoes right there. Unfortunately, after 6 years of battling cancer, my father passed away November of 2024 at the age of 69. He will always be loved. He will always be missed. I've been buying a lot of white retro sneakers lately, like the Alpha Force 88s. I've got a couple of those. I've been buying a couple of 960 650s. I'm gonna get my hands on some 550s. Nike Air Tech Challenges. I've got the Racer Pink, and I've got the Tart joints. Because I remember my dad wearing white sneakers and just running through them. And then he would pass them to me, and I would just wear them till they was through too. That's how much I love my father. Like, whatever he was into, I was into. We will always have a strong bond. You know, it's like Malice said, you live for the fishing trips. Damn, I had a dad. My dad lived for the fishing trips. Like, can't nobody talk crazy to me or say, you ain't had no dad. Bullshit. My dad let me bust my first gun when I was like 7 years old. Bowling, softball, fishing, basketball, gym, you know, I mean, a real active father. Like, I looked up to him. He was my black superhero. He was my Black Panther. He was my Green Lantern. He was the real deal. Military action, always with the physical. Like he was always with the full contact. I looked up to my father. I looked up to my dad with every fiber of my being. And although we didn't always agree on everything, he was still my hero. He will always be my hero forever. And sneakers keeps me grounded in all of that. So I will always appreciate him for wanting me to speak and express myself and not feel like I can't because of perceived crutches or struggles. He always wanted me to overcome everything. And when I overcame it, and I would look at him like, look, I overcame it. It was just never enough. I get it though. It's never going to be enough for us, for black men. We have to carry the world on our entire shoulders, even if it kills us. It's just what it is. We can run a four flat. Someone would have something to say about that. You can deadlift 700 pounds. Someone's still gonna have something to say about that. That's just what it is. So, in a way, my father prepped me for all of that before he passed away. And what really hurt me was the last time I hugged him, I told him that I love him. And he said, I love you too, son. That was the last time that I saw my father and I heard my father's voice. Now, mind you, the type of cancer that he was suffering from took his voice. He couldn't speak anymore. Everything was almost a whisper. But he gathered enough strength and energy to tell me as his son that he for sure loved me. So I will always cherish that, but it hurts, but I still cherish it. This is life beyond sneakers, bro. Like, you guys can have all this. I don't need to do this for some type of clout or something. This is me doing my Father's will. My Father wanted his son to fully express himself with no regrets, no fear, no apprehension. Go hard or go home. 100 push-ups a day, even though I don't do that at all. But that was his thing. 100 push-ups a day. Lift yourself up. Don't expect nobody to lift you up. And I don't. So I will always cherish everything that he's ever taught me and try to teach me and get me to understand. Like, he is for sure missed. As much as I want to stop creating content, I don't think that's something he would have wanted me to do, because he would never want me to use his departure as an excuse. So I'm going to continue to push my line. It is what it is. So yeah, I thank my Father for giving me the strength to start a channel. I've done everything from sneaker customs, sneaker reviews, early looks, all type of stuff. But there's definitely life beyond sneakers. If this stuff goes away today, there's still plenty of life to live. And so, yeah, he was the reason why I started this channel. It was the cope, but to also finally act on what he was trying to get me to do when I was a kid. When he would film family vacations and want us to speak and tell him about our day and what all we did, going to the pool, going to Universal Studios or Disneyland. My dad was awesome. He was just overall awesome. And it's always going to be weird with him not being here. But I'm going to keep pressing my line. I'm still going to continue to buy sneakers, and I'm going to continue to rank them as I see fit. You know what I'm saying? This is the one that I wanted. This is the one I ended up getting. Now they both have sentimental value. And the day we had to bury my father, I wore these to his homegoing. Now, family and friends that were present may have not understood why I wore up tempos with my suit. This was me honoring my father, my big homie. I remember the good things about my dad. This was one of those good things. This is a long-lasting memory of my dad being great. This is just one, but this is one of the top ones. This is one of the top things that I loved about my dad. I can never complain and say, oh, I'm getting all the shoes. Listen, if you really look back and you really revisit your whole point of view about sneakers, I think you might change your mind about why you do what you do now. We can all say we didn't get certain ones, but the ones we did get, how do they fare now? Because although the sneaker community doesn't really value this, from the person who created it to how they function, what type of memories they tend to invoke, for me, more the reason for me to have. And every time they retro, I'm going to do my best to get another pair. I want to wear a pair and have one like this. So this one's going to stay like this until Nike does right by certain sneakerheads that need the leather version. and do it right this time. All right. Thank you guys for watching this. Greatly appreciated. I'm glad I was able to finally get this off my chest, you know? Yeah. See y'all in the next video. Deuces.